Internet Confidential's Behind the Money. I'm Mary Kathleen Flynn at the EconAds seminar, and I'm talking with Larry Kramer, who, among many other things, founded CBS MarketWatch and is now working with Polaris Ventures as an advisor.
Right.
So let's just start with an update on you. What are you doing these days, and how are you spending your time?
Oh, I'm having a lot of fun. I'm getting to work both with a lot of new companies, startups in the digital media space, some in advertising, some in content. Some through Polaris and some on my own. I'm on several boards, 6 boards. I'm doing a little work with Condé Nast on the traditional media side. So I actually spend a lot of time introducing people to each other, from the old media to the new media. But I'm really enjoying working with the new companies and the new ventures within Condé Nast, all internet, all digital media.
So here at EconAds, we're focusing on the online advertising market. What do you see as some of the opportunities there, and what are some of the companies that you've been excited to work with in that space?
Oh, there's huge opportunities. And I'm chairman of the board of a company called Black Arrow, which is a technology company that's a new technology platform for doing video advertising in interactive platforms. So when an ad, instead of just an ad showing up in the middle of a broadcast, it can inject ads whenever you want to live, but it can give you, the viewer, the choice of picking the ad you see. So if you're on video on demand on cable, or you're watching a show on the web, you can stop it, go off and do what you want to do, come back, and then there's a page with 3 or 4 different ads on it, and you pick the one you watch. And you only have to wait 30 seconds, watch that one ad, and you're back in the show. But we get to sell the ad in a more profitable way because you've selected it. It's a more valuable, you're a more valuable customer because you've self-selected, say, a car ad versus jewelry or something else. So if we're selling a car advertiser that ad, we can tell them it's going to somebody who actually wanted to see it, which raises its value. So we're looking at all kinds of things. Plus, it forces the viewer to watch an ad, which in the world of TiVo is something that a lot of broadcasters are concerned about. You watch a show, you fast forward through it.
Right, don't bother anymore.
So the new technologies will enable the advertiser to protect that turf, but only if you do it in a logical way that's not intrusive.
And it's self-selecting on the part of the user.
Right, and that's part of it. Plus, you'll be able to do fewer ads because you can get more for them, so it makes the experience much better. And you can wrap ads around them in HTML while the video's showing. There's lots of alternatives that are less intrusive than stopping you, making you wait through a 7-ad pod and going back to broadcast. That's one area of advertising. I think there are a number of other you heard several at the conference today on ways to target ways to target consumers based on their behavior.
Behavioral targeting.
We're all looking at that. Obviously at CBS, when I was there and now, they've really expanded their ability to build a network of sites, be able to sell their advertising over a network of sites. They've embraced the internet for what it is, which is the interactive medium is one in which people choose when they want to see something and how they want to see it. You still have an advertiser who wants to be seen at a certain time, a certain set of times within a certain framework and associated with certain programming, so you can still match those up. It's just a lot more complicated, but it's becoming more essential.
What do you think about the advertising networks? I mean, is this a phenomenon that you think has a lot of power?
No, I think
staying power?
Yeah, some of them do. I mean, I think networks built around like-minded people. So a sports network or a network built around the same content. People who are like the same content make a little bit. You can target that advertising. The more broad networks, which will just take your ad and put it anywhere, what are known as remnant networks. There are only going to be so many of those. I mean, they're not selling anything unique. They're just selling, raw inventory. So it's generally not very targeted. It's just a way to get a lot of advertising in front of a lot of people at a low price. Because sites are willing to give that, if they have inventory unsold, are willing to give it up. So they're really a product of a tougher time. When advertising becomes popular again, and we see the opposite effect, like we did in 1999 when demand for advertising was way up, and we didn't have enough inventory to fill it. There were no ad networks selling remnant because there was no remnant. So I think it's just it's a marketplace, and when there's availability, people find a way to sell it. And if people aren't buying it at $20, you see if somebody will buy it at 15. If they're not buying it at 15, you see if somebody will buy it with 10. And then you'll see it 5, and you'll keep going until, because it's still incremental dollars if it's otherwise not sold. So the number of networks, I think, is just a testimony to the fact that inventory's gone faster than advertising, which tracks with the fact that people spend about 30% of their time on the internet now, something like that. And what did we say, 7 or 8% of the advertising dollars are spent there. Right. So by the time that catches up, you'll see the remnant, you'll see that squeeze. And you'll see far more concentration on logical extensions of audiences who are really targeted and who an advertiser really wants to reach. So if you've got a car you want to sell to young males, you want to reach young males. Makes sense for CBS to put a sports audience together with a CNET audience because it's a young male. So that just gives them bulk. And they'll be able to offer a big enough online sale to a car or to an auto company to make it worth their while, which is the other thing they want. The reason networks work is they don't want to go to 50 sites and try and bargain each time. They don't have time. So these guys do it for them, take a piece of it. It cuts down the value more, but it's still cheaper than them doing it themselves, hiring people to do it themselves.
Larry, before we let you go, I just want to know what you think about M&A in online advertising. We saw a lot of it last year. Do you think we'll see more?
Well, I mean, no. I think it's going to start to slow down. I think you'll see a lot of it. There'll still be some around technology because the technologies are still in the breakthrough mode. There are a lot of tech companies that have similar solutions or solutions to some advertising problems, and none have been fully embraced as sort of the solution. So there are people fighting for those different elements of the market. In the action, I don't think you're going to see a lot more networks or acquisitions of networks at huge prices because I think their value is sort of peaking for the reasons we talked about. I think inventory will catch up and they'll get squeezed. But there definitely is an interest in finding the right technology and using interactivity better. And I mean, it's an interactive network. This isn't a broadcast network. You really don't want people generally watching television ads on a digital platform. And I don't mean just on computers. We're going to be digitally delivering content to 60-inch screens too. So your living room experience is not going to be what TV used to be. You're going to have a remote control that can get you video anywhere, not just off of the traditional networks. But it's an interactive thing. It's like dialing a phone number up. You'll be able to call up Lonely Girl on your big screen TV. Advertising needs to embrace the interactivity and either allow you to react to that advertising or engage you in it in a totally different way. So all the technologies that are coming together to allow very cool interactivity around advertising are going to change that world dramatically, and we're not even a third of the way there yet.
All right, thank you very much, Larry Kramer. Pleasure talking with you.
Nice talking to you.
And thank you for watching. I'm Mary Kathleen Flynn with Tech Confidential's Behind the Money.